Okay, it is 6 o'clock. So if you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America
and to
and
the
to the republic for which it stands,
one
One nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
very much. Okay. Well, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. I would like to add one thing, and that is that we may discuss about the EIS hearing as well. And that's new business items after G. Does anybody have any objection to that discussion?
No, I think we could have a discussion. I don't want to make any decisions tonight.
No, I don't either. I just think it should be talked about, that's all. Don, do you have any comment about it?
I don't have any comments on it. I know we need to discuss it. But I'm not prepared to delve into it right now. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. Then do I hear a motion to approve the agenda as it is written?
I'll make that motion to approve the agenda as it's written.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Public comment. We ask that you keep it to 3 minutes. Who would like to go first?
I don't mind going first.
Okay, Brad.
Yeah, hi. I've got more than 3 minutes, but I'll try to keep it down to 3 minutes. So anyway, commissioners, I've been looking at what you guys have been involved in for about the last 12 months with regard to discharging your duties and responsibilities. And I would say the best criticism I can give you is that basically if you guys could just follow your oath of office, when you read it, understand it, and internalize it, and stick to the oath of office, it'll cover the RCWs, which you're sworn to uphold. It'll cover the issue of partiality. Partiality is caused by conflicts of interest. And so what I've noticed is that there's been extreme partiality foisted against anybody that disagrees with maybe your point of view. You're not embracing the criticism. And that's led to questions not being answered, which has been led to having to have people make requests for public records. So if you fix your oath of office, you can stick with that and adhere to it, probably 95% of your problems will go away. All right, next thing, public records request. I've made lots of public records requests to get my questions answered. The ports failed in that regard. I brought it to the port's attention and the ports failed to take corrective action. Now, there was a letter, a cease and desist letter sent from Washington Water's corporate counsel, Beverage and Diamond, to the port of Allyn. That was on June 23rd. That was after I notified him what the port was up to. That letter basically states that you guys are violating RCW 5308-040, specifically the consent requirement. Now, I've never seen that letter deliberated. In fact, Ted Jackson said he didn't even receive a copy of it, even though it was sent Federal Express to the port's address, sent via registered or regular mail, and then emailed to every commissioner email address and the port director. Yet it was never discussed in a public meeting. Okay. I found out a month later, basically, that looks like the port has, apologized to Washington Water and undone some of the connections that they were selling in that service area. Okay. Yet when I complained for 6 months about the same violation, you guys basically slander my reputation or disparage my reputation and take up an open letter to the public that's still on your website today, claiming I'm the only one that's claiming that you're in violation of the law. So that in itself is partiality. Okay, how am I doing on time, Chairwoman?
You have 30 seconds.
Okay, thank you. So anyway, I'd like to see you guys read that letter, June 23rd, into the minutes of the meeting. And then I'd like to hear, and I'd like everybody to hear what you've done about it. And then I would also like you to apologize for what you guys have done to my reputation, stating that I was the only one complaining about that violation, okay? All right, now on to Leanne real quick. Leanne also has sent me a request as to what I want to do with a public records request, requesting some information on Ted Jackson's cell phone. I asked Ted 4 simple questions. He's been using his private phone to make phone calls to me. And I don't have a problem with that. Well, then Ted wanted me to use his public port phone. I said, oh, that's fine. So I called him several times to get that number because I didn't have it. And Ted, instead of calling me, he went ahead and notified Port's attorney, who then notified my attorney, who then notified me to call him on the public phone, public port phone. But nowhere in the emails did the Port's attorney provide us with that cell phone number. So I called Ted Jackson back again on his private number a couple times saying, please, I'm sorry to have to call you on your number you used in the past, but would you give me your phone number? Finally, he called me on his private phone number and said, please call him, but he still didn't leave his Port public phone number. In the end, we hooked up. He called me from the public phone number. I've got it in my ID, so I'll call him on that, just as John has asked me to do, which I've adhered to. I think I do that with you, Judy, when I do call you. I haven't called you lately. But anyway, having said that, that's all I'm trying to say is that it makes no sense at all to spend taxpayer money to have the Port's attorney contact my attorney, who then contacts me with no phone number. Nobody has any phone number, only to say, hey, we're just going in a circle. It's a waste of taxpayer resources. Having said that, if Ted will at least answer those questions tonight on video, then there's no need for a public records request. And if he won't, then Leanne, please treat this correspondence I'm doing right now as just the information that will give me the answer those questions just for the month of January 2022. You don't need to go back for 12 months, just for the month of January. So I hope that clarifies her question to me. Okay, that's all. Thanks for letting me exceed my 3 minutes.
Yes, it's been 2 minutes. Okay, thank
Oh,
you.
2 minutes?
You were given extra 2 minutes.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, Ken?
Oh, yeah, I got the hand thing. Where's that hand thing?
Hi, folks. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you, folks. My comment time's likely going to expire, so I've emailed this to all of you before the meeting so that they can be part of the record, and I hope you all received them.
I did.
On the approval of the agenda that you folks just did, there's no mention of the January 24th special meeting minutes approval under the consent agenda. So I don't know if you're going to approve those or not, but I will talk about that in a little bit. And there's no mention of the public hearing that was advertised in the Mason County Journal. As far as my is somebody trying to say something? Excuse me. Okay. So I wanted to point out that there was a quorum of the board at the county Belfair sewer hearing on 131. Both Commissioner Scott and Commissioner Jackson were in attendance. Commissioner Scott testified. I also want to note that the public hearing that was advertised for this evening, but I don't think it's on the agenda, that date wasn't approved at the January 3rd meeting. So I don't know why it was advertised, and I assume it's not being held this evening. I would also like to enter this email into the public record that I sent Saturday morning to Commissioner Jackson after being sent a copy of the legal notice and traveling to the port office to review the agenda posted on the door. Ted, I only recently became aware of this legal notice. Here is a copy of the legal notice in the Shelton Journal that's on your voucher approval for this evening. I cannot find the public hearing listed on the port's agenda for the February 7th meeting, taped to the door or online. I have other concerns I wanted to discuss with you. Please call me and forward this email to the port's attorney. I want to know who posted that legal notice. It's my opinion that the comprehensive scheme and proposed rate hikes should be posted on the port's website, and individuals should not have to request copies. I also think that it violates OPMA to require that comments must be received before the public hearing to be considered. The agency can accept public comment before the hearing, but it's not required. I asked him to please investigate and take corrective action. I noticed that you had a special meeting on 1/24/2022, and I discovered after the fact that the port had this special meeting for the primary purpose of an executive session to discuss litigation. But you also approved 2 invoices, one for $18,000 and one for $9,000. Those invoice approvals could have waited until tonight's regular meeting. The public was not allowed to ask questions because they didn't know about the meeting. The meeting minutes, only posted yesterday, has an incorrect date on it, and also says that a regular meeting was called to order prior to the special meeting. This appears to be yet another violation of OPMA. I do have some comments when the consent agenda comes up. I wanted to mention that I assume that all the commissioners received the executive director's report on Friday, but it's not posted on the website Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or this morning. Please recall, I pointed this out to you before and requested that commissioners forward to me the meeting packet that they received. Regarding the new business item, discussion of the port taking a position on the proposed extension of the Belfair sewer line, I think the port should support all infrastructure components that are vital to the economic development in the Port District. The port was greatly involved when the North Bay sewer system was installed. Regarding the Belfair sewer extension, please note that the Belfair Water District is also in support of the proposed extension. Just as important, if not more so, I believe the port should make comment and take position on the planned action EIS and the update to the 2004 Belfair subarea plan, which the port was greatly involved in. And I feel if the commissioner has an appearance of a conflict of interest in either of these items, they should recuse themselves from discussion. If you do hold a public hearing on the port's comprehensive scheme tonight, I have further comments to make when that happens. Thank you.
You were given 2.5 extra minutes.
Thank you.
Jeff,
Madam Chair, may I make a comment here?
Le-
Nope.
Larry?
When I wrote the agenda, I neglected to put the minutes of January 24th on the agenda. They need to be added to it. I have sent you copies of those minutes. And there was a typo on them. So earlier this afternoon, I sent you the corrected version, had the date wrong. It said
24th.
January 34th, not 24th. But
Yeah.
anyway, I did send you corrected ones, and I neglected to send you my director's report as well, and I sent that at the same time.
Yes, Larry, let me have Jeff speak, and then there's a few things that we need to comment about the agenda and all of that as well. So Jeff, go ahead.
Two things. One is on item 10G, are you going to allow any public comment on that, or do I need to make it now? Question.
There's public comment afterwards.
Okay. Okay. Second thing is on the expenses in the water fund, the one that was there on the 24th, and then the one that was shown on this meeting's agenda. Is that related to when the pump went out back in September, October, that time frame?
Larry?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, no problem. And then I'll make it real quick, at least one point on the the sewer extension. As a taxpayer and involve very many things in this county, especially in the north end, while I have no issue with the extending the sewer line and what have you, upon further research, further checking into things, and then looking at some of my own notes from way back, under when you create comprehensive plans and the whole GMA thing and what have you, I think that some balance needs to be applied to it, because entities like Lakeland Village, Searland Homes, myself included, have constructed sewer line extensions on behalf of the county for North Bay, Case Inlet. We've paid the money to get it in the ground and extend it. And then when we did connections, we paid for connections on top of that. So the way I understood the other night's meeting, it just sounded like all the money was going to come from connections. And that's not how it's been done in the past. And if the county is going to take a different tact on it, well, let's have a public process, but I haven't heard anything to change that. So I guess the short and sweet is we need to keep the same rules for all developers. No one has to have one advantage over another, whether they ask for it or not, either case. So all I'm saying is there's a difference how they've been handled in the past versus this current extension. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Anybody else? I don't see any hands raised.
Can I disagree with my brother, or am I too late?
No, it's too late. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, a couple of things, Larry, as you had mentioned about some of these things, I have to say Larry has been trying to be on vacation for a long time. He's on vacation, so I want to say that he was trying to get things pushed through here before he left. So there were things that were accidentally eliminated, not eliminated, but forgotten, like the January 24th one, and there was a typo on that. So Larry, I know that you want to address some of these things. Again, we did not get the executive director's report until just now either. So Larry, go ahead if you have some other comments.
Yes, I apologize for the problem with both of those, and they're on me. I did them or didn't do them, whatever, but they're both mine. The executive director's report will address the issue of the public hearing that Mr. Vea Buskirk referred to. And as far as why that didn't go, I didn't even realize it didn't go. So when I was doing all the documents, I select them all on my computer and somehow didn't select that. I don't know why. But anyway, I did send you the corrected minutes for the 24th.
So what that was. Okay. Okay, so consent agenda items, and that's where the approval of the meeting minutes of January 3rd and January 24th.
I'm prepared to make a motion on the regular, the meeting minutes for January 3rd, but like Mr. Van Busker said, we don't have the 24th listed on our agenda, and we should. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of January 3rd, 2022.
Do I hear a second?
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Say
Aye.
aye. Aye. So a question on that note, if I may, Chairman, is so I mean he sent those in an email for the January 24th meeting, but because it's not to the public, we should wait for that, correct? Is that kind of what we're referring to?
Well, we can. Was it on the website, Larry?
I believe it was, yes.
Well, I gotta know, because I mean, obviously Commissioner Ted Jackson is not looking at it, so we probably should wait.
You're allowed to add items to the agenda if you want.
Right.
Madam Chair, this is Ken.
Yes.
I would like to request that this item be removed for a separate discussion before you approve it.
Well, Ken, thank you. That's duly noted. We need to, as commissioners, need to talk about some of this. So thank you.
This is part of the, it's listed right in the consent agenda.
With B, it's not there right now, because I just
No,
realized that
I'm
it wasn't.
talking
in-
about the whole, I'm talking about the whole consent agenda item, madam.
Yeah. What, does it show on yours?
I would like to remove both A and B for discussion. The B is not even on the agenda.
Commissioner Scott, unfortunately, this is Joe Brogan. Unfortunately, this is Mr. Van Buskirk, although we're interested in this particular issue. This is additional public comment. And my recommendation quickly on this is that because the 24th minutes are not on the agenda, and it's unclear if all of the commissioners had an opportunity to review them, then I suggest that we not proceed with action on the minutes for January 24th.
All right.
Good
All right.
job,
Mr. Brogan.
But it has been approved for January 3rd. It's been moved, seconded, and approved for January
No,
3rd.
I want, this is Ken, I want to discuss that.
Okay.
Ye-
Go ahead, we can discuss that.
Okay.
What, are you sure, or do you not want me to?
Well,
Well, we're here as public servants. Go ahead and discuss January 3rd.
Okay. At the January 3rd meeting, you were going to table the December 6th meeting minute approval until tonight, because I asked that the minutes accurately reflect what happened, and I wanted the editorializing removed from the that included the phrase from the executive director that he was under the mistaken impression that he could mute Brad Carey. I also pointed out that the public hearing on the agenda that evening was not properly noticed, and you took action and removed it from the agenda. Yet those same minutes do not reflect that you set a new date for the hearing.
That's true, because I also noticed that the December 3rd minutes are not on there. I went through this afternoon on the agenda. Even though he sent it out earlier, I was not able to get to everything this weekend. So I apologize for not jumping on all of that, because there's several things that I noticed was missing. Those December 3rd one, we did need to discuss that. That's not on the agenda. The January 24th one, that's also not on the agenda. So even with the December 3rd one, that's still going to be tabled because it's not on the agenda tonight.
December 6th, I believe.
Okay, thanks, because that one I don't have in front of me.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, Madam
Okay,
Chair,
well-
that is on the agenda.
Yeah, the December 6th is on the agenda, so is the January 3rd.
Yes,
I don't have that in front of me
No,
on
it
this one.
it's down below in new business items,
There,
Chairman.
oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, no, you're good. That's why it takes more than one person to
thank you.
live in this world. All right.
No,
And when
wait a minute, you were gonna have discussion on the December 6th meeting approval this evening, but that was part of the reason why you
No.
tabled it, because you were gonna discuss it this evening, but it was part of the January 3rd meeting minutes.
No. Can I speak to that, Chairman?
Yes, sure.
Okay. We're either going to approve or disapprove the December 6th, and we're going to table the January regular meeting because it wasn't posted properly. It's that simple. So we're doing the first things first, and we'll deal with the other next month.
If I could back up, Commissioner Sheridan, we're going to table the January 24th special meeting. We've already had a motion and
Yes.
seconded for the January 3rd meeting. And
Yes.
we're going to discuss tonight the December 6th meetings minutes. And I do
Yes.
feel that the January 3rd regular meeting reflects what we talked about with regards to the December 6th meeting.
Yes, I stand corrected. That's
I think-
absolutely on point.
Okay,
But
when, when,
we're still gonna discuss the December 6th here when we come to new business.
yes, we will. And
So,
there's things that will be talked about on that one.
yes,
It doesn't mean that it just necessarily needs to be approved. We will discuss it,
but we can if we'd like to do that.
correct? Okay. Anything else on that topic? Okay, moving forward, action items, general fund vouchers, payroll vouchers and water fund vouchers. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'd like to make a motion to approve all three. The first voucher for $17,613.69. And the voucher B, $22,643.42. And voucher C on the agenda, $13,233.19.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Commissioner reports. Who would like to go first?
I'll go ahead and go first on that. So, and just to go over the obvious with the issue of the minutes, I attended the regular meeting on January 3rd and the executive slash special meeting on the 24th of January. And recently I got the appointment for the record here as a Mason Transit Authority board member. So just
Great,
all I got.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Ed?
Yeah, and congratulations, Commissioner Sheridan. It's a long time since we've had a Port of Allen person on that commission. So
Thank
I
you.
attended the regular meeting, the special meeting. I also attended a meeting with the PRTPO. And I did not put in for these meetings or ask for reimbursement. We had a great meeting with the Squaxin Nation regarding the salmon recovery effort. And I'm happy it was a very good meeting, excellent meeting with the representatives from the Squaxin Nation. I also sat through the Belfair Sewer meeting, and that was pretty interesting.
Thank you, Ted.
Mhm.
I attended a January 3rd port meeting, January 13th, Economic Development Council meeting, 24th, the executive session. January 27th, it was Legislative Port Day. And Representative Wilcox was speaking. I was on that one for, it was a Zoom meeting it was all day pretty much. And I was on there for about an hour or so. And Senator John Braun, he's from the 20th district, which is Cowlitz, Thurston, to name a few. It was really informative. It really kind of helped some of the issues that were going on. One of the things was a concern was consolidating the elections. And he was not, that was Representative Wilcox. I'm not sure what everybody feels about that, but I just was thankful that he was not for putting everything all in one at the same even years. Makes it too difficult to keep track for the smaller districts and whatnot. January 31st, the Belfair Sewer meeting too. That was really interesting. I do have to comment that there may have been a quorum, but I was not representing the port on that at all either when I was at the Belfair Sewer meeting. February 3rd, I was at the DNR focus group. There's about 20 people that use the Tahuya, that were on the focus group. And there's also April 23rd will be a Tahuya Forest Cleanup Day, and I'll be providing lunches, and that's located at the old Oak Patch Campground located off Effendall Pass Road. And then February 5th, there was a transportation meeting at the Lakeland Clubhouse, and that was pretty informative. That was Dennis Engel from WashDOT, Washington State Department of Transportation, Dave Smith of Public Works, Randy Netherland, County Commissioner, and our Jeff Carey from TIPCAP. Thank you, Jeff, for being there. And it was a full house. There were lots of questions. And one of the things that Dennis Engel said was that Highway 3 freight corridor will be done by 2026. So it's supposed to be 24, but looks like it's going to be delayed.
Mm.
Okay, that's it for me. Security officers report.
Yes, before I read this, I want to say I don't want to seem like I'm stupid tonight. I was in a car accident, a pretty bad car accident on Friday, and I have a concussion, and I'm just moving slow here, so please bear with me.
Mm.
Security officers report, 1/9/22, 6:30 p.m. Jeff Walker has moved his vessel to the dock for moorage after having it on a buoy outside the port's jurisdictional waters. No numbers or identification were available. No payment received. Power is hooked up and the vessel's about 36 feet. We'll advise the office tomorrow. 1/10/22, 9:50 p.m. Jeff Walker's vessel is still without payment. Office was advised during business hours. Mr. Walker's vessel has now been tagged for non-payment. 1/11/22, 9:57 p.m. Jeff Walker's vessel has had its non-payment notices removed with no payment received, nor has proof of ownership and/or registration been provided to the office. 1/12/22, 9:18 p.m. Registration numbers have been added to the vessel with still no contact with port offices or payment provided in the pay box or at the pay station. 1/13/22, 9 p.m. Due to lack of payment and no communication on the part of Jeff Walker, notice to vacate or pay within 24 hours has been posted. Notice declared vessel would be chained for lack of payment. 1/14/22, no payment posted or contact made on owner's behalf. Vessel will be chained during daytime hours tomorrow. 1/15/22, 10:30 p.m. WN 5844SW has been chained for lack of payment. Owners made no attempt to contact port offices after many attempts to communicate with the owner have been made. 1/18/22, vessel WN 5844SW has contacted the office and paid back moorage and future moorage for the span of 1 month with power. So,
Okay, thank you.
That-
Now it's your report.
yes, let me get that up here. Okay, financial issues, revenues and expenses are performing as expected for this time of year. The month's budget versus actual was omitted in your original meeting packet, but Leanne was supposed to send it today. In looking over the vouchers for this month, you'll notice we've included a fixed monthly amount for Foster Garvey. We've always paid their invoices in full, but in order for us to be able to project our cash flow over the entire year, they've agreed to accept a fixed monthly payment amount. We finally received the staging area expense reimbursements from RCO, but only the construction cost portion, which was a little over 41,000. We've not yet gotten the amount we spent for staff payroll, which is approximately 9,000. They seem to have an issue with the type of documentation for our staff time spent on the project. However, we're working through that with them. Our grant manager came out here on January 7th and signed off on the cultural resource issues, so that's good news. We do have expenses related to the new well, but these come out of the water fund, not our general fund. Agenda items. You'll notice that on tonight's agenda are 5 resolutions. These are essentially housekeeping items. However, WPPA considers this the best practice to reapprove these annually. There are no changes in anything, and next year you'll also want to reapprove and/or update the public records policy as part of this. But since you just approved that last month, there's no need to do it again. Also, I've reviewed the video from December 6th meeting concerning the minutes that we tabled last month. After conferring with our council, the minutes should stand as written. Please feel free to review the video yourselves. The incident starts at 5:08 minute mark. New Long-Term Care Act. According to this law, we were required to deduct the costs from everyone's paycheck as of January 1. However, the legislature has postponed implementation for 18 months and the deductions are to be reimbursed. Public records and litigation issues. As part of the litigation we're involved in, making sure all our I's are dotted and T's are crossed, processing the 44 public records requests we've been deluged with has required running everything by our attorneys prior to responding, which is why our legal costs are running so high as they are. We continue to be threatened with requests for more records as well. The state implemented some new rules that allow us to charge a small amount for providing electronic records, and we implemented those fees effective January 1. Our attorney has advised us that the litigant has retained an attorney of his own, and that if any of you are contacted directly by the litigant, be it via either your port and/or personal phones and/or email, that you should not respond in any manner whatsoever. All communication about the litigation at this point must go through the attorneys. I've also asked our attorney to explore what legal options may be available to staff to deal with the relentless, ongoing, abusive, disrespectful, and insulting personal attacks we have been subjected to since before the litigation began. We're cataloging all the emails attacking us on personal levels, and we have recorded a number of telephone calls as well. We're looking into the prospect of slander and/or libel suits that could possibly be filed by either the port or by staff as individuals. I will update you as we get more clarity on this subject. Update to the comprehensive scheme. We posted the community survey on our Facebook page and on our website for a comprehensive scheme update. We also sent a press release to all the local media that included the link to the survey. We'd scheduled a public hearing for this tonight, along with a PowerPoint presentation. However, we've only had a small number of surveys returned and believe we need to increase our outreach efforts before moving ahead with this. We're going to have to explore some alternative outreach methods. I hesitate to use direct mail due to the cost, which would be around $4,500 per mailing, plus the cost of design and printing whatever mailing pieces we did, and because the return rate for direct mail is less than 4%. We originally intended to submit the update to RCO on or before March 1, although it isn't a requirement since our next official update isn't due until March 1st, 2024. While we want to have an updated plan on file with RCO just to keep us eligible for grants, there aren't any grants for potential projects we're looking at right now except Sweetwater Park, which is included in the plan we have on file. So there's no immediate pressure to submit anything. Water system issues. We continue moving forward on the new well and have received approval from the state for the booster pump. Now we just need permits from the county. We're going to install the booster pump up near the tank to equalize water pressure with the rest of the system for the existing new homes and others to be built there. As you know, we did have a system outage for about 12 hours to repair a break in the main line between the well and the storage tank, but we did get it fixed as quick as we could. We also sent a note to all the water customers with their bills, letting them know if we have any future outage problems that we will post information on the website. As you know, there's federal funding available for the bailout money the state will receive, which will be dispersed by the county via the SEDS process. I've tried to get a read on exactly where we are in this process and had a nice conversation with the new county administrator about it. But since he's new, he's drinking out of a fire hose right now and said he'll get back to me. So I called the EDC and just got the runaround about it. However, as you know, 2 people have submitted letters to the county commissioners asking them to consider delaying our funding request. If our request is denied, our attorney has advised us we may have a potential lawsuit for damages against those 2 individuals for the total amount requested. So we need to let the process play itself out. Damage claims. As you are aware, we had some severe damage to the finger pier on the dock during the October 25th storm. I turned the claim into Endurus and called Marine Floats, the same company that built the replacement dock, to get an estimate on the repairs. Meanwhile, we've closed that section of the dock to boaters and pedestrians. Marine Floats has given us a bid that's basically time and material. Endurus wanted a firm number for the job, but has agreed to allow Marine Floats to move forward. I've signed the contract with Marine Floats and have asked them to schedule the work. The second claim is for the theft of the wire powering the marina. We got a bid for the repairs from the same contractor that did the original installation, and Endurus has approved it and will pay the claim directly to them. And the vouchers tonight was one for Endurus for $1,000, which is our deductible. However, before we do the repair, we want to be able to secure the access to the electrical equipment so it can't be turned off simply by cutting a lock. Otherwise, it's just a matter of time before this happens again. What we're doing is completely enclosing the kiosk and installing steel doors and deadbolts to access the electrical equipment, as well as stainless steel locks for the electrical cabinets. We estimate the cost of this to be around $5,000, including Don's time for construction. Foundation has been poured and the steel doors have been on order. The corner posts have also been set. We're in a holding pattern until the doors arrive, which hopefully will be within the next 10 days. Security camera issues. We did have the camera vendor come and take down the cameras as they never could make them work correctly. Our new vendor has ordered cameras for us that are newer technology than what we had and more powerful. There are also 8 additional cameras, which will be able to position better than what we had as well. The good news is that we will save about $13,000 over the cost of the original units. Depending where we end up placing the cameras, there may be some additional cost for running power to the new units, but still will be substantially under the original cost and will have better equipment when it's all said and done. The vendor expects the equipment to be delivered this week as it shipped on Friday. He will begin installation and testing as soon as it arrives. Website issues. We've refreshed our website with some new pictures, including some drone shots like the ones we use for the calendar, and we posted the community survey there. But what we're looking at is a major upgrade, which will simplify navigation for people who aren't technically savvy enough to be able to easily find what they want. We're also looking into using our security cameras as a webcam. But truthfully, due to the potential cost and time to do the redesign itself, it's probably going to be April or May before we can get to this. Old business, Oyster House. The new siding's been installed and looks great. There's still Tyvek covering the windows, keeping the moisture out of the interior until the windows can be restored and reinstalled. We're basically in a holding pattern with the platform until we can get the Army Corps permit. Once we have that, we can put the pile driving and construction of the platform for the building out to bid. As reported previously, WPPA has taken the lead on the Army Corps issue. Port associations in other states are doing the same, so we are hopeful congressional solution to the stalemate between the Corps and NIMS will take place sometime this year. Sweetwater Park, nothing new to report on this, although after both Commissioner Jackson and our security officer suggested perhaps fencing off the front part by the road to keep people from using it as a parking lot. We've looked into both the price of fencing it and, as Commissioner Jackson suggested, getting some ecology blocks. Fencing was around $5,000, so the blocks are way cheaper at $55 each for a total of about $1,400. The big issue is getting them moved, is finding them, and we did find a vendor on Friday, and then getting them moved and set into place. So we're working on that. All ports meeting, waiting for the next meeting to be scheduled. Criminalization of marina rules, nothing new to report yet. But once the new security cameras are installed, Commissioner Jackson and myself start trying to move this forward again. And that's my report. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Commissioners, do you have any questions?
No questions.
No,
Okay, next on the agenda is the regular meeting minutes of December 6th. And Council, you have talked about this to us in regard to these minutes as well, I think. Do you have something that you would like to add to that?
I don't know specifically if I have a concern about the approval or this is a new business item. I understand it's first going to be a discussion and then potentially a vote. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I would recommend we proceed with the discussion and see how the commissioners feel the end of that with respect to whether they're going to
Okay,
formally approve the December 6th minutes.
didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No, it's okay.
Okay. Commissioners, your comments.
I'll start off first if it's all right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The meeting minutes did not state verbatim what occurred during that meeting, but that is not the purpose of minutes. We do have a YouTube video, and Web TV, Mason County Web TV has that meeting still in their archives. And I've reviewed it twice, and I would have no problem approving the December 6th meeting minutes
As written, correct?
as written, correct.
Yeah. John, do you have any comment?
No, I agree with Commissioner Jackson. The minutes reflect on the concern of with the public comment we've had. I disagree with an effort to not approve. I disagree with the effort to have these not approved because it basically reflects what happened. So I don't have any more discussion on it. I've spoke to this before and on how I feel about it. But anyway, it's an accurate representation of that evening, and it's since been corrected, and nothing was intentional. So I'm good with just the way it is. Well, when I mean nothing's unintentional, let me qualify that. Okay, so that there was a misunderstanding that the executive director had, and he's apologized since. And that being said, the minutes reflect that it was a mistake. So that's why I'm okay with it.
Okay. Well, I would agree in not changing it. You know, I think it's reflective of what happened. So I would vote to, I have to wait because I have to hear a motion to approve. We could open this up if you wanted to discuss anybody, but okay, but I'm going to tell you, you have 1 minute. Everybody has 1 minute. So Brad, you have 1 minute to share what your concerns.
I'll just take up 30 seconds. I've been down this road before where we videotape public meetings, both as a citizen and as a public official. And what we typically do is in the motion, we go ahead and put in there that if there's any question as to the accuracy of the minutes, the audio video is relied upon. And that's it. That takes care of it.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
Yeah, which is why I'm comfortable with the minutes the way they are. Exactly. Brad Carey said it best. That's why I'm comfortable with them. Thank you.
Good. Do I hear a motion to approve December 16th?
I had a comment to make.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ken. I did not see your hand. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. The only thing I asked was that the minutes not be editorialized. And when Mr. Carey was muted, it was done, the executive director did it. And that comment about him being under the mistaken impression was put into the minutes after the fact. It did not happen during the meeting. He didn't acknowledge during the meeting that he was under the mistaken impression. It took him 2 days to acknowledge it.
Right. And
That's all I have.
Yeah,
That's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And it doesn't say that it was acknowledged at the meeting. It reflects the fact that that we've discovered it was a mistake. And quite frankly, Mr. Carey was able to continue on. And then he had another opportunity at the end of the meeting for more public comment. He didn't make it. So he must have said everything he needed to say. That's my take on it. Anyway, an apology was sent out too. And so it's correct the way it is. And that's all I got to say about that. Before we make a motion, do we want council to weigh in on this?
I would simply say, Commissioner Sheridan, and to that, I would advise against continuing to discuss the facts of that evening
Right.
as similar to what I just heard.
Oh,
It's been alleged by Mr. Carey's attorney that he maintains that he may have a claim against the port regarding this particular event. And so I would just, to the extent we can,
all right.
limit any responses from the commissioners to this and simply address whether the commissioners are prepared to move forward with the approval of the regular minutes, perhaps with the notation that in fact Mr. Carey provided, that further detail of the meeting is available via audio tape as well.
Thank you.
When in dispute.
Do I hear a motion to approve the December 6th minutes as written?
I'll make a motion that the December 6th meeting be accepted as written.
Do I hear a
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
All right.
Aye, so moved. Okay, moving forward. Larry, you have some housekeeping resolutions that I thought were pretty good. We have, they're all kind of bunched together. We can read them individually. I appreciate the fact that these are getting done before they really haven't been brought to, I think, such a succinct way of handling this. So there's resolution 2022-1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Commissioners, have you had a chance to look at those? We won't be, we can discuss each one individually, but have you had a chance to look at them? And any thoughts?
Yes. And they haven't changed.
Thank you. Yes.
I looked at them. I just see a couple of typos, errors, under the resolution 01. Under Article 2, Robert's Rules of Order, the last sentence or the last sentence, authority in the transaction, there should be a space there.
Okay.
And there was one other one that I noticed on this one also. It's the same thing, it was just words, and I don't know if maybe my copy didn't come over as well, because some of the sentences are reduced font. So it may have just been the way it would ended up on my computer, but or email. I'm looking for the last one, but it was just another two words combined without a space. So the
Okay.
content, I'm fine with the content.
Yeah, okay, I am too, and and I have the same copy where you see a difference in font in a under quorum and then under the Article 2, the transaction. So it's, but the content is the same as it was before for us to reapprove these.
Correct.
Okay,
So
where
Okay,
were those,
What's
Go
that,
ahead.
Larry?
where were the typos?
The
Oh.
first one was under Article 2,
Is it resolution 1, correct?
Resolution 1, Article 2, Robert's Rules of Order.
Oh, I see it. I found it.
And there was just one other one. It was the same thing where two words were combined without the space. So
Okay.
I'm
I'll find them and correct these. If you want, approve them at, as correct.
yeah,
What-
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2022-01. Adopting rules governing the transaction business of the Port of Allyn.
And something must be different in yours, because I'm looking at what was sent and all the type is all the same size.
Okay,
Okay. Do I hear a second?
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Ken, I do
Aye.
see your hand up. Is it in regard to these resolutions? And if so, you have 30 seconds. I probably shouldn't do that, but what is your comment?
Well, you probably shouldn't do it, or are you gonna
Well-
allow it?
I will allow it. Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to speak about resolution 2022-0001, Article 5 meetings. Your executive director just gave a report, and at the very last of that Article 5 meetings, it says that as it will also post all meeting documents for upcoming meetings on its website for public access the Friday prior to the meeting. This isn't the first time that the executive director's report hasn't been posted on Friday afternoon. So, I mean, you can go ahead and approve it, but
I
things
take
have to change.
that.
Thank you.
I take issue with that. This is the first time it hasn't been approved, hasn't been posted.
I agree with Ken, Mr. Capola.
Whatever.
Well, can we
Okay. that's
move
enough.
on with, I
Yeah.
understand what Ms. Van Buskert's saying that I also understand that Mr. Capola, due to his situation, that it didn't come out tonight. I mean, or didn't come out Friday night. So that's something that the commissioners, I'm sorry, Chair, but that's something the commissioners need to address. So.
Well, I'm all about excellence as well, but you know, we're also human. And I think that's where I take issue, is that there has been lots of calling out, nitpicking. I shouldn't say nitpicking, because we do want excellence. We do want accountability, but also the fact that we do make mistakes. We are human. I haven't seen a perfect person yet. So we do take that into consideration
Madam
as human
Chairwoman,
beings.
can I speak to that for just
No,
15
you may not right
seconds?
now. No, not
Okay.
right now. We have business to do. Thank you. Okay, next item, resolution 2022-002, which is resolution reaffirming the executive director's delegation of authority for the year of 2022.
I'll make a motion.
I was just gonna say, last time it was updated was 2018, so,
Correct.
but it's the same thing. So,
And you had a chance to look at it, commissioners?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'll make a motion. Did Commissioner Jackson just make that motion? I'm sorry.
No, you're more than welcome.
Okay, I'll make a motion to accept the resolution number 2022-002 as is.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, so moved. Next one is the resolution number 2022-003. That one is the resolution providing for the appointment of the Port of Allyn agent to receive claims under RCW 4.96.020.
Yeah. And I'll make a motion to approve that resolution 2022-003 as is.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. The next one is resolution, which is 2022-004. Resolution appointing Foster Garvey as the Port of Allyn Attorney of Record for the year of 2022. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2022-04.
And I'll second that motion.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. The next one is resolution 2022-005, resolution providing for the appointment of the Port of Allyn Auditor and Public Records Officer.
I'll make a motion to approve 2022-005, resolution 2022-005.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, so moved. Now, Larry, I want to make sure these were on the website. Is that correct? Or they will be on the website?
it was my understanding they were posted, yes.
Okay. Okay. Item discussion of the port taking a position of the proposed extension of the Belfair sewer line. I have to say, for me personally, wasn't sure if we should actually take a position. I just thought it would be a good idea to have it brought up to give the public a chance to talk about it. But if you gentlemen would like to say anything, commissioners, would you like to comment?
I'll go ahead and just say one thing is I have to research it more. Not only to make it as like where we stand with it as a port, whether we really need to do that or not is another question, but also just to speak to the matter. I need to understand it better, the big picture, and I don't. So it's all in the details, right?
Ted?
The only thing I have to say is I'd like to see more information come out. I did see the newspaper article and Facebook post and watch the meeting and listen to the public comments and the commissioners and Mason County staff comments. But I think there's going to be more information coming out, especially with regards to funding. And I don't think the Port of Allyn should make any determination right now. I would love to hear what some of the folks here in attendance would have to say. I did listen to some people talk about it that are here. And so that's my position. I just would prefer that the port wait for more information to come out.
Thank you. Yeah, I would agree. Of course, I stayed for the 4 hours. It was 4.5 hours. But there is a continuance until March 1st, just so that everybody knows.
Okay.
And I appreciate staff at least giving us some more information. And I appreciate Randy Netherland for at least bringing up concerns about some of this as well. So I want to thank the commissioner for at least bringing it forth. So with that being said, we have public comment and we ask that you limit it to 3 minutes. So if you would please raise your hand, the little icon in the bottom, and I will do my best to look. Do I see anybody?
Whereabouts is the icon?
It's down at the lower screen and it says reactions.
Does that
And
work
you
okay?
Yes, perfect. Thank you. Brad, go ahead. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, all right, well, I know the port has been through lots of attorneys over the last 10, 15 years.
Okay.
I think Foster Garvey, specifically Joe Brogan, I don't think he's the proper attorney. I originally, when I first started working with Joe Brogan, I felt he might be a good attorney, but I don't like to see my tax dollars being spent. I mean, even on the phone number issue with Ted Jackson's phone number, I mean, he sent an email to my attorney asking me to call on Ted Jackson's public cell phone, but didn't even include the phone number. But most importantly, I've sent all of you commissioners responses to my public records request dated back in July. And, I sent an email to all the commissioners, I think on July 9th last year saying, hey, I need these records and I'm not getting them. Nobody responded. And on July 13th, I also sent emails again, and I think I made notes during public comment during that meeting. I needed those records. And I didn't know what the record was, but I needed all the correspondence from Washington Water and I wasn't getting it. And when Leanne had finally, after telling me many, many different answers, finally said it was attorney-client privilege, I said, no, it can't be. It's impossible. And I gave 4 different reasons why. And I said, ask your attorney, Joe. He'll tell you, right, Joe? I put that right in there. I'm not asking Joe to respond. I put that right in there. I said, right, Joe? And yet nothing. And so 2 weeks went by and I still couldn't get the records. So we filed suit and we still couldn't get the records. Even after we said, look, we're going to ask for a heavy daily penalty if you don't give us the records. We still couldn't get them. So finally we were forced to have 2 of our friends make the same records request. And then I think you guys figured out that, this was going to be a bad situation for you. So within 12 hours, we had the records. So I think, let me put it this way. If I was a sitting commissioner, I would suspend the contract with Foster Garvey. I'd hire reasonable, competent counsel that's trained in the area of public records and transparency laws. Joe's not. He's trained in water. Okay. And so he's not equipped to handle this type of litigation. Now he's told me that he's got staff that is, but I'm a taxpayer. I don't want my money wasted. They just spent you guys spent $18,000 when my litigation didn't even have to happen, let alone I was willing to settle for 10. It makes no sense. Now I'm willing to help this port I'm willing to teach this port everything I know about the Public Records Act
You have 30
and the
seconds.
Open Public Meetings Act. I think that's crucial. Okay, also with regard to sewer growth, what have you, I think the port needs to find itself a piece of industrial property if it's going to be in the port business. I really do. I've asked several commissioners to get back to me on this. I think that property needs to be strategically located where trucks can get in and out, easy access to the airport, and possibly off Highway 3. And I need you guys to set up an industrial park. The other thing with regard to growth, I'm out here in Tahuya.
Time is up.
May I just finish my sentence, please? Please?
You're wasting time. Go.
Okay, thank you. Anyway, I would really like the community to weigh in on how much growth they want for the area. I used to live in Seattle, and I left Seattle for Issaquah, and then I left Issaquah for Tahuya. In other words, a lot of the people out here kind of like things like they are, and they don't want a lot of growth. Growth's going to happen, but to the degree that we can manage that growth to the level or try to balance with the level that the majority of the community would like, I think will be an important thing for the port to weigh in with the county on attracting, light commercial, industrial manufacturing and service industries to our area. That's my comment. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeff?
Yes, taking off, back under item 10G, I would ask that, the commission take a look at a briefing that occurred at the county back on March 23rd. It's in the archives of Web TV. It did clarify some things on why things got so, everybody got crosswise with each other with this last meeting. But again, that's the first thing. I'd ask you look at that before you even decide if you decide to take a position, because I think it'll help better inform what's going on, before the port takes a position, if you do decide to take a position. The other aspect of it, I can't stress hard enough that, nobody, in the beginning, nobody wanted growth management. Eventually we had to work with it. Eventually we had to have our urban growth areas. And there are things in the planning that you do. And unfortunately, it's kind of a chicken and egg. What do you build first? The sewer, the roads, the water, or stormwater? But the bottom line in the whole thing is that it takes a lot of funds, and I'm concerned the approach that's being taken there versus the approach that's been done in the past, where like Lakeland, like myself, like Cedarland Homes have put in them, paid the money to put it in, and also paid the connection fees along with it. And I think if they can get it righted that way, it can go a long way. Otherwise, the one last thing is, with respect to that, I was always under the understanding that when we create these comprehensive plans, that we're supposed to be paying attention to OFM numbers, the Office of Financial Management, for the population predictions and what have you, and that it was okay to go higher, lower, or whatever, as long as you had documentation to show why you're making this decision. That data that was presented and the things I've seen to date, doesn't mean I've seen everything, do not show that. As a case in point, just for background, state of Washington is growing at half the rate it was just in 2019 in 2021. And Mason County, I can't believe that the numbers are right, but they're showing less than 100 gain in 1 year, which, it's going to take, that's the whole county. I can't believe that's right. But what I'm really trying to say is even the US Census numbers show only like a 1% growth on this county year in and year out for the last 10 years. So anyway, I just ask you to keep that in consideration when you're making that decision, if you decide to support it or not, whatever action you take. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Ken, you're next.
Thank you, commissioners. Is this only public comment for this new business item?
No, you can comment about anything.
Is this public comment at the end of the meeting?
Yes, it is.
Or so we're at the end of the meeting?
Correct.
Oh, are you not going to talk about the EIS?
No, because the commissioners didn't want to put that on the docket.
Oh, okay. Well, I would encourage you to read the comments I sent regarding both taking a position on the proposed extension of the Belfair sewer line. I can't believe that you folks haven't been keeping up to date with it. It's a very important economic development for the Port District. And I mean, you were really involved with the sub-area plan back in 2004. And I'm surprised that nobody's paying attention to that. I think you should weigh in on both items and be involved with it. So thank you.
Thank you. Larry?
Yeah, I just want to add a comment. Mr. Carey is talking about we should have some industrial land and build an industrial park. That is in our comprehensive scheme of harbor improvements and has been for the last 5 years. So
Thank you.
it's not like we're not aware that something needs to be done. It's a case of the port having to find the money to be able to do it.
Thank you.
Quit spending money on
I
water,
saw-
maybe.
I saw Phil. I saw your hand up, Phil. Are you, I think he left. Okay.
No, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you, Phil.
Yeah, I'm, kind of have unstable internet here. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with the commission that it should be that the port should wait until more information comes in to support the sewer extension as it is planned now. I was in the early meetings, the early efforts with the Port of Allyn when it was spearheading the Allyn sewer system. And one of the drivers there was the health of North Bay and the shellfish industry. And that was the same with the Belfair sewer system. And now Belfair sewer system is abandoning plans to go out the old Belfair Highway to connect to the Belfair State Park. And I think it was brought up by Jeff that really, or or someone that really developers should pay for sewer that's going to their development. So, but I welcome other ideas and thoughts, and yeah. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Thanks for being here. Anybody else in regard to that?
Could I ask Phil a question about that?
Anything,
It's-
well, if there's anything else, anybody else have comments in regard to that first? No, I don't see anything. Yes, you have about 30 seconds.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I was just, along Belfair Highway, there's a lot of places that are already established on Old Belfair Highway. And I was just wondering how or what would be fair for those people to have, if they have good working septics, to have to go ahead and disconnect from those and pay a connection fee and a monthly bill to the sewer. Because I understand the Old Belfair Highway and how it's kind of down in unstable soil surfaces and what have you. And, I mean, it's a tricky deal to have someone that's, got a good working septic to have to disconnect that and jump on the sewer and pay a fee to do that. That's my only concern. And there's a lot of build out that's already happened along that Old Belfair Highway. Whereas this other trunk line, I mean, I think you can do both. I just don't think Old Belfair Highway is ripe for that yet. That's all I'm saying. And I'm
Well-
just curious what his thoughts were.
Well, Brad, I mean, it was, you can make the same argument. I have two hookups on the Allyn system, and they would have supported septic systems as well. So I don't know. I mean, up where the sewer is being proposed to extend to the 6 properties, that's excellent soils for septic systems. Not that it should be done. Look at Lakeland Village. There were perfectly working, fine, septic systems there. So I don't think that argument necessarily holds water.
Yeah, and Lake Washington, in
Uh,
fairness to you,
Brad?
Phil.
Brad, that's okay. Well, this is a meeting and I appreciate your public comments, but this is really a dialogue between all the other guests. If we could move forward.
Okay, well, I was
Commissioners,
just
do you
agreeing
have-
with Phil.
Commissioners, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I'd like to comment on a couple things. One is being a new port commissioner and having taken the oath. We had someone here tonight suggesting that that we're not following our oath and, or, you know, pretty much across the board. I just take issue with that, you know. We're all human, trying to make good decisions, informed decisions, and looking at all sides. Sometimes a person or two weighs in heavier than the masses, if you will, of those out there that might think otherwise. That have different views on things. And the second issue that the second thing that I take issue with is also attacking our council this evening. I don't need to repeat everything he said. I wrote it down here, but it's just that there's a tremendous conflict with those comments if things don't seem to be lining up for an individual that makes those comments. So anyway, for whatever it's worth, for those out there that are listening that might not really understand the issues, I just wanted to make it clear that there's a conflict of interest with those comments, and I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Okay, any other public comments? All right, now good of the order. I do have one thing. House Bill 1740 codifies the Community Economic Revitalization Board, which is known as CURB, broadband grant and loan program, and allows both rural and urban counties and communities to apply for the program. And the bill was heard at the House Committee on Capital Budget this week, but has not received the executive action yet. So that's encouraging, just so that you know. Okay, anything else?
Yeah, thank you for not muting me tonight.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. I see Gina and Alan Finley on the meeting, and I'd like to welcome them. They moved into Alan, correct me if I'm wrong, Gina and Alan, about a year ago, and they want to be involved. So I have the pleasure of working with Gina as another nonprofit executive director, and I just want to say welcome. I'm glad to see additional people joining our meeting, especially people that have, you know, vested interest in what the port is doing. I can't thank everybody enough. So.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ted.
Excellent. Okay, I think that can conclude our meeting tonight. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for attending, everyone. I appreciate your comments.